And so, hello, good day. I am Dr. J.M. Santos, and our topic for this week in Histopath or your general pathology is your genetic disorders. Okay, so in your genetic disorders, these are the disorders that involves now your genes as well as the manner by which you get these diseases are via inheritance, genetic mutations, the damages in your DNA, that sort of stuff. Okay, so when we say genetics, diba? When we study genetics, we often associate it to Gregor Mendel, diba? Because he is the father of genetics. And in your genetics, our diseases can either be grouped as either Mendelian or non-Mendelian. Okay? When we say Mendelian, these are Mendelian genetics basically tells us that a single gene can have two set of alleles, and then one allele can predominate. Okay, so doon manggagaling yan yung autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, mga ganon. But then in non-Mendelian genetics, it does not follow the typical Mendelian inheritance in a way that a single gene, a single gene can have two alleles, and then they can present, like for example in codominance. That is not a Mendelian inheritance kasi nga it does not follow the set rules by Gregor Mendel. So also in Mendelian genetics, one thing to take note there is the pattern of inheritance. Okay, so you can actually predict, makakompute mo kung ilan yung magkakaroon ng ganitong sakit by the use of your Punnett square as well as your pedigree. Okay, but in non-Mendelian genetics, it's quite complex. And then there can be a lot of alleles located in one gene, and so many types of phenotypes can actually present. Okay? Unlike in your Mendelian na isang gene, dalawang allele, kung sino yung mas dominant na allele, yun yung magpe-present. That will be your phenotype. So alam natin, mape-predict natin in your Mendelian. But in your non-Mendelian, it's quite complex. Okay? So in your Mendelian disorders, these are gene defects that have large effects, and the basic patterns of your transmission would now be your autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, and your X-linked. Okay? So in your autosomal dominant, basically you have to have inherit a dominant gene for you to have a phenotype. Okay? So kung ma-inherit mo dyan, dominant and then recessive, matatalo si recessive, and then kung ano yung dominant na phenotype, yun yung ima-manifest mo. In autosomal recessive naman, you need to have two recessive genes or alleles for you to manifest the disease. Okay, and in your X-linked, it can either be X-linked dominant or X-linked recessive. So later on, I want you to take note that a female has XX and then male has XY. Okay, because that will play a role in determining now or understanding now your X-linked disorders. Okay, now your codominance. This is an example of your non-Mendelian genetics. Okay, so because nga in non-Mendelian, the pattern of inheritance does not follow the dominance and recessive traits. Okay, instead they can actually manifest both alleles. Also, it does not follow the rules of the laws of independent assortment and segregation, if you can still recall your genetics. Okay, so in your codominance, both alleles contribute to the phenotypes, and a very good example of this one would now be our blood groups, diba? Type AB, as well as in RH. So it also plays a role now in your histocompatibility. So let's go first to your autosomal dominant disorders. Okay, so in your autosomal dominant disorders, these are one dominant allele is enough to produce a phenotype. That is what we term as heterozygous. If two dominant alleles ang na-inherit mo, that is your homozygous. Okay? One parent is usually affected, and in some cases, no parent is affected due to newly acquired mutations. But as I've said, since this is an autosomal dominant type of inheritance, one dominant allele is the one that's needed only for you to produce a phenotype. Phenotype, when I say phenotype, yun yung nakikita mo physically. Okay? So, In autosomal dominant, you have what you call the variable expression, which is determined now by your penetrance and your expressivity. When you say penetrance, it's the proportion of those who inherit the gene and expresses its phenotype. Kapag sinabi mong 100% penetrance, lahat ng generation, magkakaroon yan ng sakit. Okay? And then, may tinatawag kasi tayong skip generations eh. So, ibig sabihin, hindi 100% yung penetrance niya kasi may mga generations in which that gene would actually be silenced. And then, mag-a-appear na naman siya in the next generations to come. Okay? Expressivity. So, the variability in phenotypic expression among those inherit the gene. Okay? This one naman, it's just the physical characteristic. Like, for example, kung pango ka, hindi ka ganun kapango, parang ganun. So that's just the phenotype or the physical characteristic kung paano nag-manifest. Okay? So usually, key structural, these autosomal dominant disorders are structural proteins and receptor defects. Okay, so this is an example of your Punnett square and genogram to illustrate now your autosomal dominant disorders. Okay, so as you can see here, yung capital A and then yung square na shaded dyan na peach, yan yung magkakaroon ngayon ng phenotypic expression of that allele na na-inherit mo doon sa malaking A, and that is your autosomal dominant. Okay? So this one in your genogram, yung female is represented by a circle, di ba? Titignan nyo, lahat ng generation, di ba nagkaanak siya, naapektuhan yung lalaki tsaka babae niyang anak. Ito. So, in the next generation, lahat, ayan, magkakaroon ulit ng inheritance kasi nga, mataas yung penetrance ng autosomal dominant disorders natin. Okay? And the next one, you have now this picture, which shows now that the phenotypic expression and the penetrance and expressivity illustrated. So dito, variable penetrance. Ibig sabihin, ayan hindi lahat ng family member mo, whether isang generation or different generation, kung titignan mo, hindi lahat nagkakaroon. Okay? And then in your variable expressivity, tignan mo, hindi pantay-pantay yung kulay. Kasi nga expressivity means now kung paano lang nagmamanifest yung phenotype. Okay? So these are the different autosomal disorders grouped according to system. Okay? So in the nervous system, we can have your Huntington, neurofibromatosis, myotonic dystrophy, tuberous sclerosis. In your urinary, you have your polycystic kidney disease. Your gastrointestinal is your familial polyposis coli, which actually is a precursor or risk factor for developing now colon cancer. Your hematopoiesis, or in your bone marrow. You have your hereditary spherocytosis and your von Willebrand disease. Your skeletal naman, you have Marfan, Ehlers-Danlos, some variants, because yung Ehlers-Danlos natin, it can also be of the autosomal recessive type. And then actually X-linked pwede rin. And in your metabolic, you have your familial hypercholesterolemia and your acute intermittent porphyria. Okay, so pipili lang tayo ng mga disorders that are noteworthy and actually related to your profession. No? Yung favorite nila actually natanongin sa board exam. Okay, so one thing here is your Marfan's. In your Marfan's, this disease is a defect in the fibrillin-1 gene located in your chromosome 15. Okay, kapag nagkaroon ng defect yung fibrillin gene, magkakaroon ngayon ng defect in collagen synthesis. Okay? And as you know, collagen affects a lot of organ systems, di ba? Actually, yan yung predominant na protein natin sa katawan, di ba? So, affected organs can be your skeletons, eyes, cardiovascular system, and the morphology or your clinical manifestation. So this one is a representative picture of your Marfan syndrome. Pansinin niyo yung very long extremity niya. Kung yung post oblation, yung nakaganyan siya. Kung in-stretch out niya yung arms niya, actually napakahaba. Okay? napakahaba. So, yung upper extremity niya, it's very long. Kung papansin niyo, there is actually pectus excavatum, okay, paloob. And then medyo deformed din yung mga yung skeleton niya. Okay, so the most striking feature is actually your skeletal system. You have a tall stature, you have long extremities, tapering fingers, and lax joint ligaments. And your head, dolichocephalic or long-headed, and then with frontal bossing. You have also prominent supraorbital ridges, and your spinal deformity sa spine mo, tignan mo hindi siya straight, di ba? Para siyang may scoliosis. So you actually have a kyphoscoliosis. When you say kyphoscoliosis, doon sa curvature ng thorax and your spine does not follow the usual S shape. Mas OA yung pagka-curve niya, kumbaga. And then there's also rotation or slipping of your dorsal or lumbar vertebrae. And your chest, you have pectus excavatum or your pectus carinatum or your pigeon breast deformity. And then in your eyes, you actually now present with the outward and upward bilateral lens subluxation. Ibig sabihin yung mata niya, outward, palabas, and then upward. Okay, so yung mata niya is nandito sa bandang upper. Okay. Para hindi ko makalimutan, since Marfan, di ba, sabi doon, outward, then upward, sabi, di ba? So, nandito yung mata mo. So, ini-imagine ko yung letter M, ito yung direction ng kanyang mata. Okay. So, nandyan siya. Okay, and then in your cardiovascular, actually this is the most life-threatening feature because you are predisposed now to have your mitral valve prolapse, and in your ascending aortic valve ring and aortic root dilatation, you will now have severe aortic insufficiency and aortic dissection. And given that your aorta is the largest organ in the body, you are prone now to develop aortic rupture. So kapag nag-rupture yung aorta mo, syempre there will be internal hemorrhage. So again, this is a picture of your Marfan's. Okay. So a good differential for your Marfan's is actually your Ehlers-Danlos. Okay, so in your Ehlers-Danlos, as I've said, pwede kasi siyang maging autosomal dominant, pwede din siyang maging autosomal recessive. Okay, but most of its types kasi nandito sa autosomal dominant, kaya nilagay ko siya dito sa autosomal dominant. Okay? So, the defect here is in your fibrillar collagen. So, quite the same siya, no, with Marfan's. So, in your autosomal dominant kasi, it affects now your collagen structural genes, the genes that codes for the collagen. But in the autosomal recessive type, the difference is that the enzymes in your collagen synthesis is the one that are affected. Okay, so nagets ba? Yung autosomal dominant, it's in the genes. But sa autosomal recessive, yung mga enzymes that are responsible for the development of your collagen ang may defect. Okay? So yun. So the types of your Ehlers-Danlos, you have now the classic, the hypermobile, the vascular type, and the arthrochalasia na type. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7A, and your 7B. Okay, so in this one, so andyan yung mga different genes na involved, and then you also have the clinical findings. In your classic, you have skin and joint hypermobility, atrophic scars, and easy bruising. And then in your hypermobility, there's hypermobility, pain, and dislocations. These are the patients na kayang i-reach yung arm dito niya. Usually, kaya nilang ma-reach. And then, very flexible sila yung mga binabato. Usually, hindi naman sa lahat, no? But sila yung mga, kapag may mga cheer dance, ganun sila yung mga binabato-bato sa ere. Tapos, kung ano-ano mga acrobatics yung mga ginagawa nila. So, yung mga contortionist, kumbaga. Okay, and then in the autosomal recessive type, you now have kyphoscoliosis and in your dermatosparaxis. Okay, In your kyphoscoliosis, you have, as I've said, since autosomal recessive are enzyme defects. So the enzyme defect here is your lysyl hydroxylase and your procollagen peptidase. So in your kyphoscoliosis, you have hypotonia, joint laxity, congenital scoliosis, and ocular fragility. So both Marfan's and your Ehlers-Danlos can actually present now with what? With ocular manifestation. So pwede rin silang mabulag. Okay, in your dermatosparaxis, you have severe skin fragility, cutis laxa, and bruising. Actually, one thing to take note in your Ehlers-Danlos is that since it is a collagen defect, recall that your collagen is needed in wound healing. That's why kapag may Ehlers-Danlos ka, you are also prone to bleeding kasi nga you don't have the intact mechanism in which you can now heal your wounds. So you have poor wound healing, kumbaga. Okay, so this is a picture of your cutaneous hyperextensibility seen in your Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Okay, so another one that is noteworthy to take note as a medical technologist is your familial hypercholesterolemia. Okay, so mapapa-review kayo dito ng slide in your lipid profile in your clinical chemistry 1. Okay, so the defect here is the most common here is your low density lipoprotein receptor mutation. So you have now the different mutations. Remember this one. Class 1 mutation is the synthesis of your LDL. Class 2 is the transport of your LDL. Class 3 is binding. Class 4 is clustering. Class 5 is recycling. And Class 6 is your failure to initial targeting of the receptor to basolateral membrane. Okay, and so remember yung lipid synthesis ninyo, because any defect in your lipid synthesis would actually now constitute a mutation class. And the most common there is actually your 1. Okay? And then in your ApoB, di ba, your ApoB, ano ulit sa ApoB? ApoB is a lipoprotein that carries now your LDL and your chylomicrons, diba? ApoB 100 is for your LDL and then ApoB 48 is for your chylomicrons, diba? So kung may defect yan, of course, your LDLs and VLDLs will not be able to be metabolized. So nagsistay lang sila dyan yan sa bloodstream. Okay? So ApoB, reduced binding of your LDL to LDL receptors, and then in your PCSK9 activating mutations, these are reduced LDL receptor expression by downregulating recyclin. So kapag itong PCSK9 mutation kasi, kapag nag-mutate yan, kailangan mo kasi si PCSK9 in order for you to recycle now your lipids. But as I've said dito sa bullet ko na to, kung defective yung gene na yan, you will not be able to recycle your lipids, therefore they will also stay in your bloodstream. So mataas ang cholesterol mo ngayon. Okay? And then this is actually may mga drugs ngayon that are coming out na may different mechanism from statins. Okay, statins kasi is that they would actually now they would actually now inhibit your HMG-CoA reductase para hindi ka makapag-produce ng cholesterol, diba? But yung may mga PCSK9 na nagta-target ng mga drugs so that mas maganda yung recycling mo ng lipids. Okay? And those are used in conjunction with your statins para mas mapaganda yung metabolism of your fats. Okay, so pathogenesis, there is decreased hepatic clearance of your LDL, kaya tataas ang plasma cholesterol mo, and kapag mataas ang plasma cholesterol mo, there is premature atherosclerosis. And you know what atherosclerosis do, di ba? So kapag mataas yung lipid profile mo, magiging barado yung mga blood vessels mo, and that barado would actually now become an embolus, di ba? And then kapag naging embolus, MI stroke. So clinical features, you have increased plasma cholesterol. The heterozygous form would now reach 2 to 3-fold, and your homozygotes are mas mataas. Okay? In your San Thomas, these are lipid depositions in your skin and tendons, and you have premature atherosclerosis, which will be seen in your coronary, cerebral, and in your peripheral arteries. Okay? So now let's go to your autosomal recessive disorders. One thing to take note about autosomal recessive disorders are that you need two recessive alleles to produce now your phenotype. Okay? And then these autosomal recessive are actually more of the enzyme defects. Okay, usually mga enzyme defects tong mga to. And then usually parents are phenotypically normal but there are siblings that are affected. Or kapag hindi naman, normal yung magulang pero nagmamanifest na ngayon sa mga anak nila. Kasi nga possible na recessive si mother, recessive din si father, yung na-inherit ni bata, recessive yung nakuha niya, therefore magmamanifest na ngayon yung phenotypical manifestations. So in a cross of two heterozygous parents, there is 25% chance of having the trait. And more uniform expression, it's the complete penetrance and early onset. And usually these are enzyme defects or metabolic disorders. Dito na papasok ngayon yung newborn screening ninyo. Okay? So usually most of your newborn screening na diseases, these are of the autosomal recessive na inheritance. Okay? So autosomal recessive, this is the typical Punnett and genogram. So different autosomal recessive disorders mo, you have now your cystic fibrosis, your phenylketonuria, galactosemia, homocystinuria, your lysosomal storage diseases, your alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, which again predisposes you to what? Having your COPD. Okay? Ano pa? Your Wilson's disease, which involves now your copper metabolism, your hemochromatosis, your iron metabolism naman yan, and your glycogen storage diseases. Your glycogen storage diseases are, type 1, 2, 3, 4. Sino sila? Von Gerks, di ba? Sino pa? POMS. Sino pa yung mga glycogen storage diseases nyo. So reviewin nyo rin yun ha, not only for the sake of your pathology but also for the sake of your clinical chemistry. Favorite nilang tanungin yun, your VP-Chem, Von Gerks, POMS, Andersen, Corys, and Her, di ba? May her ba? Oo. Okay, so yung mga enzyme na involved, di ba, si Von Gerks is your glucose oxidase, di ba? Mga hexokinase, mga branching enzyme, mga ganun. Okay? And in your hematopoietic naman, it involves now your sickle cell, thalassemia, your sickle cell and your thalassemia. Sickle cell, again, your valine is replaced to glutamic acid in your position 6, di ba? And in your endocrine, you have now and in your thalassemia, you can have major and your minor thalassemia. And it can either be alpha or beta. And your endocrine, you now have your CAH or your congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which involves the defect of 21 alpha hydroxylase, as well as yung mga other enzymes that leads now to the production of your steroids, aldosterone, and your corticosteroids. Okay? And then in your skeletal, you also have the Ehlers-Danlos, your alkaptonuria, which is a defect of your homocysteine metabolism. Homocysteine ba? Tyrosine metabolism, okay? Ito yung urine mo na nagsa-stand, after 1 hour, nagiging itim. Diba? And in your nervous, you now have your neurogenic muscular atrophies, your Friedreich ataxia, and your spinal muscular atrophy. Okay, so some of your lysosomal storage diseases, which are under your autosomal recessive, are your Tay-Sachs, okay? Your Tay-Sachs disease is a defect on your alpha subunit of your hexosaminidase A. Madami to, okay? Tay-Sachs, Niemann-Pick, Gaucher, Sanfilippo, sino pa? Aryl sulfatase deficiency, mga ganon. Or your metachromatic leukodystrophy, mga ganon. These are defects of your glycosaminoglycans and your peptidoglycans. So, wag nyo din silang ismulin because possible na lumabas sila sa histopath, pwede sa HEMA, pwede rin sa clinical chem. Okay, so it's important for you to review these types of diseases din. Okay, so in your Tay-Sachs, you have hexosaminidase A, and then kapag may defect ka sa hexosaminidase A mo, you won't be able to metabolize your ganglioside. So there is accumulation of your GM2 ganglioside in your neurons and your retina. So in your neuron, under hematoxylin and eosin, there will be ballooned neurons with cytoplasmic vacuoles. And since may mga cytoplasmic vacuoles ka which contains now your fats, so it will be positive for your fat stains, which are your oil red O and your Sudan black B. Okay, in your electron microscope, there will be cytoplasmic inclusions that has whorled configurations with lysosomes composed of your onion skin layers of membrane. Yun yung palatandaan kay Tay-Sachs. Tay-Sachs, onion skin layer. Okay? Retina naman, there will be swollen ganglion cells with GM2 ganglioside, particularly at the margins of your macula. And since nasa margin of your macula yung mga ganglioside deposition, there is actually the cherry red spot finding on your fundoscopy. Ayun, dito. This is your cherry red spot in your retina. Okay, so this is your... Ito yung makikita mo kapag nag-fundoscopy kapag sinilip mo yung mata. This is actually your macula. And then, yung nasa gitna, yan yung accumulation of your GM2 ganglioside. So, nakakabulag ba to? Yes. Okay, kasi nga, may blind spot ka na dyan. Ibig sabihin, pwede pa yang lumaki and pwedeng maapektuhan yung buong paningin mo. Okay, and then, yun. Onion skin and your cherry red spot in your macula. Yun yung keywords niya doon. As compared to your Niemann-Pick, si Niemann-Pick naman, sphingomyelinase deficiency. Now, si sphingomyelinase deficiency, accumulation naman to ng sphingomyelin. Okay, so morphology, grossly, you will have hepatomegaly, massive splenomegaly, and your lymph node enlargement. So in your microscopic appearance naman, there are enlarged cells due to the distension of your lysosomes with sphingomyelin. Ibig sabihin yung mga lysosomes mo puro si sphingomyelin na yung laman. And then foamy cytoplasm with numerous vacuoles. Yan naman yung characteristic ni Niemann-Pick. And then there are zebra lines or zebra bodies in your lysosomes, so engorged secondary lysosomes that often contain membranocytoplasmic resembling your concentric lamellated myelin figures. Now, the neurons, these are the same histological features as with Tay-Sachs. Actually, your Tay-Sachs and your Niemann-Picks are quite the same. Si Niemann-Pick, pwede ka rin makakita ng cherry red spot sa macula. However, your Niemann-Pick has visceral organ involvement. Tignan nyo, si Niemann-Pick meron kang hepatosplenomegaly. Paglaki ng liver, paglaki ng spleen. Pero si Tay-Sachs, wala. Ang involved lang kay Tay-Sachs, mata tsaka utak. Pero si Niemann-Pick, puros mga visceral organs pwede niyang i-affect. Okay? And in your Gaucher naman, your Gaucher, it's the most common lysosomal storage disorder. The defect here is in your glucocerebrosidase deficiency or your beta-glucosidase. So it's the most common known genetic risk factor for the development of your Parkinson's. And grossly, you have splenomegaly, lymphadenopathy, and your bone erosion, which is a typical or a pathologic feature. Okay? Your bone erosion. Big sabihin, fragile yung bones ng mga tao may Gaucher disease. And in your microscopic structure, ano yung keyword dito? Keyword dito, Gaucher, enlarged phagocytic cells with fibrillary cytoplasm, which resembles now the crumpled tissue paper appearance. Again, crumpled tissue paper, Gaucher. Kapag onion, Tay-Sachs. Kapag Niemann-Pick, ano naman? Niemann-Pick, foamy cytoplasm. Okay? Foamy, Niemann-Pick, onion, Tay-Sachs, crumpled tissue paper, Gaucher. Okay? In your electron microscopy, you have elongated distended lysosomes containing the stored lipid stacks or bilayers. And then And then in your brain, you will now have the Gaucher cells in your virtual Robin spaces, and your arterioles surrounded by swollen adventitial cells. So this is the crumpled tissue paper appearance na cytoplasm na tinatawag natin, okay? As you can see, which parang totoo din naman na crumpled tissue paper yung cytoplasm mo, di ba? Pansinin mo, di ba? So this is your crumpled tissue paper appearance. Siyempre, yung nucleus mo. So kung papansinin mo dyan, para siyang na-crumpled. Okay? So these are some other lysosomal storage diseases. You have your Pompe's disease, which is your glycostorage diseases type 2, your glucosidase, your sulfatidoses. Ibig sabihin, yung mga sulfatides mo, hindi mo kayang metabolize. You have your Fabry, your Farber, and your Crab, and your metachromatic leukodystrophy, and your mucopolysaccharidosis, your Hurler, and your Hunter. Okay? Doc, do I need to memorize? Yes. Okay, kasi once in a while, kumukuha talaga sila sa board exam ng mga diseases na to and the enzyme deficiency. Kung hindi man enzyme deficiency, yung mga minention ko kanina na pathognomonic terms, mga buzzwords, like crumpled tissue appearance, mga ganun. But it's important for you to memorize now the enzymes involved. Okay? In your amino acid disorders naman, these are disorders that involves now your amino acids and how you metabolize them. So the enzymes that you need to metabolize a certain amino acid, pwede siyang defective. Therefore, it will lead now to the accumulation of that particular amino acid or the absence of a certain product that we need to produce in order for that amino acid to be excreted sa katawan ng tao. Or, and then, para magamit din, di ba? So, one very good example in your metabolic amino acid disorder is your alkaptonuria. Okay, so this is a disorder of your phenylalanine and your tyrosine metabolism. So, the defect here lies in the homogentisic acid oxidase deficiency, which increases now your homogentisic acid. So, in the presence of increased homogentisic acid, there is now the conversion of it into benzoquinone and ochronotic pigment, okay? Ito yung nagbibigay ng black color doon sa long-standing urine. So the clinical features, brown-black urine on standing or with alkaline pH, and you also have an increased urine homogentisic acid. Of course, these pigments or your homogentisic acid can actually go to your joints, causing now your arthritis and your ochronosis. These are dark blue to black pigmentation in the cartilage and connective tissues. So this one, alkaptonuric urine upon standing. So magiging black or brown-black siya. And you also have your Kallmann syndrome. Sorry for the maraming genes na involved dito. Your Kallmann syndrome, okay? This one is the most common form of hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. Madami kasing types of reasons bakit hindi nireregla or possible na hindi na parang delayed kumbaga yung puberty ng isang person, okay? There are a lot of factors, one of which is environmental, but mostly genetics, okay? So one of which is your Kallmann syndrome. And kung nakikita nyo dyan, most common form of hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. It's quite complex to explain, pero kung maalala nyo yung HPO axis natin, your hypothalamus, pituitary, and your organ or your ovaries and testes system natin, there is positive and negative feedback doon, di ba? So, hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. Ibig sabihin, konti na nga yung gonadotrophins mo, hindi pa responsive yung gonads mo. Okay? So, mali talaga. May defect talaga yung pathway, your HPO axis. Kaya, delayed yung puberty mo. Okay? So, etiology, autosomal type is 85%. And then, your X-linked is 15%. This, yung Nelson na nakalagay dyan is the book reference, which is a book for pediatrics. Okay, so your X-linked naman, you have now the CAL1 gene. So kapag CAL1 gene ang affected, there is failure of your olfactory axons and GnRH or gonadotropin-releasing hormones expressing neurons to migrate from olfactory placode to the brain. Okay, ibig sabihin niyan, yung mga neurons na nandun, 'di ba kapag baby ka kasi, iba kasi yung anatomy ng baby from the adult. Okay, as you grow up, maraming mga nadi-displace na organs in which they are trying now to find their proper position. Okay, but what happens in your CAL1 gene mutation or the X-linked type of your Kallmann syndrome is that yung mga GnRH releasing hormone na cells na nasa olfactory placode, hindi na sila nag-migrate, okay? Hindi sila pumunta sa hypothalamus. Therefore, wala ngayong magpo-produce ng gonadotropin releasing hormones. Okay? So wala kang mapoproduce nun. Kaya nga hypogonadotrophic type siya. Okay? So wala kang gonadotrophins. Ngayon, since my involvement ang olfactory axons diyan, magkakaroon ngayon ng dysplasia. Ibig sabihin, instead na olfactory neurons ang nandyan, mga cells that are responsible for olfactions or pag-amoy, ang nangyayari dyan is that naiiwan dyan yung mga cells na magpo-produce sana ng gonadotrophin. So instead na neurons for or nerve cells for smell ang nandyan, ibang cells or different types of cells ang nandyan. Okay, so ang isang manifestation ng Kallmann syndrome to rule in this type of syndrome is inability to smell. Okay, wala kang pang-amoy. Okay? So another one is or anosmia. In medical terms, that's anosmia. Okay? So that would actually give you a very good differential kapag nakita mo sa case anosmia tapos delayed puberty. Kallmann syndrome na yun. Wala nang iba. Okay, so autosomal dominant naman is the CAL2 gene. It's the FGFR1 gene loss of function. And in your autosomal recessive type, you have now the KISS. Okay, yung KISS1 gene. Yung KISS1, palatandaan ko dyan, nagkikiss ka for you to reproduce. Kasi nga, the KISS peptine, kapag na loss of function yung KISS gene mo, which is a regulator of your reproductive hormones, of course, hindi magpo-function ngayon yung puberty mo. Okay? Or hindi ka magpo-proceed with your puberty. Okay? So clinical features of this one, you have low gonadotropin releasing hormone, low FSH, and low LH. And in your males, you will have delayed puberty, micropenis kasi nga walang mag-stimulate ng growth ng reproductive organs mo. You will have low testosterone during infancy. And in your females, you will have primary amenorrhea or delayed menses or absence, total absence of your menses. And failure of secondary sexual development. So, maliit yung breast, hindi ka talaga rereglahin. So, yun yung mga reasons that we try to look now kapag may mga patients that would present with amenorrhea. Like, pupunta sila sa clinics. Usually, nung nagro-rotate kami sa OB, Doc, 18 na ako pero hindi pa ako nireregla. So, that will now involve further investigation. Okay? So, isipin mo na possible lahat ng mga possible diseases niya. Baka naman may Kallmann syndrome siya, baka wala siyang matres. So, ayun. So, possible na ita-transvaginal ultrasound siya and all. Okay? Papa-work up. So, anosmia is a defining feature, as I've said. And the others, you have oligodontia, hearing loss, midfacial defects, renal agenesis, cryptorchidism, synkinesia, color blindness, and optic neuropathy. So, kapag CAL2, which is the autosomal dominant type, you will have cleft lip and cleft palate. Okay? Yung mga medically related terms dyan, I will give it to you as an assignment. I-search nyo na lang kung ano yung meaning nila. Okay, like for example, cryptorchidism. Ibig sabihin yan, buried yung testis mo or na hindi siya nag-develop or it could just be located in another side. Wala siya sa scrotum. Okay? Renal agenesis, from the name itself, hindi nag-develop yung kidneys mo. Okay? So, hindi nag-develop yung kidneys mo, wala ka ngayong kidney. Okay, so now let's go to your X-linked recessive diseases. In your X-linked recessive disorders, these are usually affected here yung mga males, okay? Usually males expresses the phenotype due to hemizygosity of the allele. And then females may express the phenotype because of a random inactivation of one chromosome. Okay, the affected males do not transmit the disease to their son kasi nga ang nakukuha ng son is the Y, okay? But all of their daughters will be carriers because they get one X from their dads. Okay, and then in a cross of heterozygous female and unaffected male, 50-50 yan. So 50% of the son and then 50% of the daughters will be affected. Okay, so for example, in this one, male and then female, di ba? Kapag nagkaanak sila, 50-50% chance din na pwedeng lalaki, pwedeng babae. Parang ganun din yung mode of inheritance niya. So kapag affected si babae, sino ngayon yung affected? Possible na yung male, possible din na yung female, and then yung female magiging carrier siya. Okay? So yan tingnan nyo sa genogram. So si mother nagiging carrier, and then kapag nag-asawa siya, since affected si mother, 50% chance na pwedeng mag-manifest yung isang son, and then 50% chance pwede rin si daughter, pero mostly carrier lang siya. Okay, and then these are the X-linked recessive disorders that you can see. So you can have the Duchenne muscular dystrophy. In your blood, you can have hemophilia A and B, your chronic granulomatous disease, your G6PD, your immune or your agammaglobulinemia, your Biscuit-Aldrich, your diabetes insipidus, your Lesch-Nyhan, your Fragile X. Okay, so so those are your X-linked recessive disorders. Now, in your X-linked dominant naman, usually in a cross of male with a normal female, all daughters will have that disease, and then all sons are negative. Kasi nga X-linked dominant, nasa X chromosome to. Okay, so in a cross of heterozygous female with a normal male, it will resemble now your X-linked recessive. Okay, so examples of this one is your Alport and your vitamin K rickets. One thing to take note also in your X-linked recessive disorder is that doon sa musculoskeletal, sige, later na lang, nandyan pala yung Fragile X. Okay, so sige, let's proceed na. So in your X-linked dominant, you have two very good examples lang dito. Okay, so kapag tinanong kayo ng mga cases, if you are trying to rule in a autosomal dominant disorder, always think of two diseases kasi ito yung pinaka-common na X-linked dominant, and then the rest, pwede mo siyang i-categorize into X-linked recessive. Okay? Ano yung dalawang yon? You have only Alport syndrome and vitamin D resistant rickets. In your Alport syndrome, ang palatandaan natin dyan, Alport syndrome. Bakit 4? Kasi you have type 4 collagen mutation. Okay, ano pa? Can't see, can't climb a tree. Bakit? Can't see, bulag siya or meron siyang lens dislocation. Ano pa? Can't pee, meron siyang hematuria. Can't climb a tree. Bakit? Since meron siyang type 4 collagen, possible na maapektuhan yung mga cartilages niya, mga bones, so hindi siya makakalakad. Okay? Hindi siya parang yung can't climb a tree, kumbaga, hindi maganda yung pag-walk niya. hindi siya mobile, hindi siya ambulatory. Kaya hirap siyang nandiyan pala. Can't see, can't pee, can't hear a bee. Okay, so bulag, pipi at bingi, kumbaga. Okay. So hindi siya makakita, hindi siya makaihi ng maayos, and then hindi rin siya makarinig. Okay? So that is your Alport syndrome. And in your vitamin D resistant rickets, 'di ba? Rickets nga is a defect in your bones, 'di ba? So yung rickets mo is pwedeng nagkakaroon ng varus disorder, ibig sabihin sakang yung paa. So kung ginamot mo yan using your vitamin D, hindi siya gagaling. Okay? Kaya nga vitamin D resistant rickets. Now in your chromosomal disorders naman, remember that you have 22 pairs of chromosome and 1 pair of your sex chromosome. Okay, so 22 pairs of autosomes and 1 pair of sex chromosomes. So all in all, you can be, kung female ka, 46XX, or 46XY. Okay, so we are considered to be euploid. Now, abnormalities in your 46XX or 46XY is considered aneuploidy. Okay, yun yung definition ng aneuploidy. Any definition that would deviate from your 46XX or 46XY. Okay, and can involve autosomes or sex chromosomes. Now let's go first to your disorders of your autosomes. The disorders of your autosomes, ang very famous natin dyan ay mga trisomy. Okay, so you can have trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome. Trisomy 18 is Edwards, and your trisomy 13 is Patau. Okay, 21 Downs, trisomy 18 Edwards, trisomy 13 is your Patau. Palatandaan ko dyan, 13 is the start of puberty, di ba? So 13 Patau. Kapag 18 naman, kapag 18 years old ka, pwede ka nang bumoto, di ba, sa election. So election Edwards. And then kapag 21 naman, of course very famous na yan, trisomy 21 Downs. Pero palatandaan ko dyan, 21 ka pwedeng bigyan ng driver's license. Kaya D for 21 driver's license. Yun lang. So when we say aneuploidy are errors of your gametogenesis. So you can have non-disjunction. When you say non-disjunction, failure of your homologous chromosomes or sister chromatids to separate during cell division, and one gamete has an extra chromosome and the other gamete lacks a chromosome. Diba? In our review of your prophase, anaphase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, di ba? Ibig sabihin ng non-disjunction is that in the process of making two new cells, di ba, tig-apat dapat yan. Tig-apat. Pero in the process of cell division, ito, naging tatlo, yung isa nalipat dun sa kabila. Kasi possible na hindi sila nag-separate, kaya nga non-disjunction. So isang cell na, meron na siyang 5, as compared doon sa isa, 3. Okay? O, sige, para ma-understand nyo yung trisomy, gawin natin tig-2 lang. Okay? Tig-2. In the process of cell division, pwede yung isa sumama dito sa isa. Kaya doon sa isang cell, 3 na. Yung isang cell, 1 na lang. So yung isang cell nagkaroon ng monosomy, yung isang cell nagkaroon ng trisomy. Hence, our trisomy disorders. Okay? Trisomy 21, trisomy 18, trisomy 13. Okay, so that's what you call the non-disjunction. Okay, in your anaphase, you have anaphase lag. So one homologous chromosome in your meiosis or one chromatid is left out of the cell nucleus. So one gamete is normal and one gamete lacks a chromosome. Ibig sabihin ng anaphase lag, mabagal yung anaphase mo, kaya sobrang bagal niya, nagkaroon na ngayon ng inappropriate or unequal distribution of your chromosomes. So errors in post-fertilization, you can also have mosaicism or mosaicism. Okay, ibig sabihin ng mosaicism, 2 or more populations of cells with different chromosomal complement in one individual. So this one, it can also be seen in your trisomy 21 and in your Turner syndrome. Okay, so now let's go to your trisomy 21. It's the most common of the chromosomal disorders, and it's the leading cause of your mental retardation. One very good risk factor for the development of your trisomy 21 is your advanced maternal age. Kaya kapag usually yung mga buntis nasa 40s na sila, ganun, or early or late 30s, we would consider them now to be high-risk pregnancy because of the development of these types of aneuploidy. Okay, so the causes, 95% would be the non-disjunction type. 4% will be the Robertsonian translocation. Yung Robertsonian translocation naman is, from the name itself, translocation, yung isang arm na pupunta sa isang arm ng isa pang chromosome, and then upon cell division, ayun, nasasama siya doon sa isang cell, and then later on, pwedeng humiwalay, so magkakaroon ka na yun ng 3 sets of chromosome. Kaya trisomy pa rin siya. But that only constitute mababang percent, lahat or majority of our trisomy would still be the non-disjunction type. Okay, hindi naghiwalay yung mga chromosome mo, therefore meron kang trisomy. Okay, so diagnostic clinical feature, you have flat facial profile, oblique palpebral fissures, and epicantic folds. I'm sure nakakita na kayo ng itsura ng Down syndrome, di ba? Pagkakita nyo pa lang, alam nyo na may Down syndrome sila because nga of their facial feature. And these are those. Okay, meron silang flat affect, oblique palpebral fissures, and then epicantic folds. Other findings can be your brush-filled spots, your white-gray spots on the periphery of your iris, which is this one. Kung papansinin niyo yung iris nila, meron silang brush-filled spots, and then your simian crease or single palmar crease. Okay? So this is the typical brush-filled spots in your trisomy 21. So this one, incidence 1 in 700 births. So yung karyotype mo is 47XX or pwede namang 47XY. So basta nagkaroon niya ng 21 trisomy yung chromosome 21. So mga possible na diseases mo or manifestation mo is yun nga, number 1 that we would consider there is your mental retardation. And then abundant neck in the skin, masyadong makapal yung skin nila here sa neck part. You would also, yung simian crease, iisa lang yung crease ng palmar area nila. And then congenital heart defects, which would actually now constitute for the early death of these patients natin because of heart diseases. Usually meron silang mga patent ductus arteriosus, ibig sabihin hindi nagko-close yung mga pagitan ng mga blood vessels sa heart. Ano pa, meron din silang mga ventriculoseptal defect, yung mga pagitan ng mga chambers. So basta everything na may heart defect ka, of course hindi functioning well yung heart mo. So as you grow up, you won't stand a chance with adaptation. Kaya ayun, nami-meet nila yung early demise nila. And then you also have intestinal stenosis and umbilical hernias and hypotonia. Okay, so these are the associated diseases in your trisomy 21. So your CVS or your cardiovascular actually constitutes now of the majority of deaths in infancy and childhood. You will have your atrioventricular septal defect, yung AV mo, yung atrium tsaka ventricle, may butas. So ventricular septal defect, yung pagitan ng dalawang ventricles mo may butas, and your atrial septal defect, yung dalawa namang atrial mo, and your tetralogy of Fallot. Your tetralogy of Fallot, ano yan? It's quite complex since tetralogy, 4 yung components kasi yan. I will just explain pag may face-to-face, makadrawing ako ng heart. Anyway, so yan yung mga possible na mga cardiac abnormalities that would present in your trisomy 21. Now in your gastrointestinal naman, our patients with trisomy 21 could actually develop Hirschsprung, esophagus, and small bowel atresia. In your hematological, they are predisposed to your acute megakardioblastic leukemia. And then in your CNS, they would actually have early onset Alzheimer's disease. And your immune system is your serious lung infections and thyroid autoimmunity. So on top of the diseases na nangyayari na nga sa kanila, possible pa na magkaroon sila ng recurrent infections. So next one is your trisomy 13 and trisomy 18. Okay, so this one pinagsama ko na lang kasi since majority of our naman talaga focus would be trisomy 21 kasi nga mas common siya. Because actually your trisomy 18 and 13, they are actually hindi sila usually nagre-reach into puberty. Usually pag bata pa lang sila, possible na ma-meet na nila yung demise nila. So kawawa yung mga batang mga to. Okay, so common features, most common cause is your non-disjunction ulit. Your common feature is your mental retardation, cardiac and renal defects, and your rocker bottom feet. In your cleft, you could also see here your cleft palate and cleft lip and umbilical hernias, which distinguishes now your Patau syndrome. So nakikita lang to sa Patau. And these are more severe than your trisomy 21, and most die within the first year of life. So this is actually your trisomy 18, your Edwards. So ito yung mga characteristics niya. You have prominent occiput. Ano pa? Low set ears. Ayan. Hip abduction. So paglabas pa lang talaga nila, you would actually now see a slightly deformed na neonate. Okay? You also have the micronatia, which is maliit yung bunganga niya. So imagine mo, maliit yung bunganga. How would you now be able to suck now the breast milk from your mom, diba? Given that breast milk is very important. So trisomy 13 naman, the pataw, actually very bad siya na mnemonic, pero I like to associate it with the word patay kasi nga maaga talaga silang namamatay. They won't stand a chance in this harsh world. Okay, so nakakaawat ang mga batang to, even though rare, but given na rare siya, ayun, malala naman kapag naapektuhan nito yung mga bata. So, ayan, meron kang microphthalmia, maliit yung mata, polydactyly, may extra fingers, rocker bottom feet, an umbilical hernia. Ibig sabihin, nagpo-protrude na yung mga internal organs mo in your umbilicus. Okay, so yun yung mga yun. Okay, so those are your trisomy. Now, let's go to the disorders of your sex chromosomes naman. Yung mga yun ay mga autosomal. Ito are sex chromosomes. So, more common and are better tolerated than autosomal chromosomal disorders. They are subtle, chronic problems regarding sexual development and fertility. Kasi yung sex chromosomes natin, they are the ones responsible for our sexual development. It's difficult to diagnose at birth and usually are detected during puberty or kapag lumalaki yung bata. Okay, as compared sa mga yon na kapag pagkalabas pa lang nila, we can actually say na meron tong trisomy 21, 13, or 18. So the greater number of X chromosomes, the higher the likelihood of mental retardation. So mas malala yung mga naapektuhan na babae as compared sa lalaki. So number 1 here is actually your Klinefelter's disease. Your Klinefelter's disease is one of the most common genetic diseases involving sex chromosomes and male hypogonadism. So yung cause natin dito, reduced spermatogenesis and male infertility. So the defect, dalawang XX tas isang Y. So di ba ang kailangan mo lang dapat is X and Y. But since nadagdagan ka ng isang X, may chance kasi na matalo si Y. So, si Y mo is the one responsible for male development. Si X mo is the one responsible for female development. So, imagine mo, dalawang female ang magdadirect sa development nung isang Y lang. So, pwedeng matalo si Y, mag-predominate ngayon yung female characteristics in a body of a male person. Okay, so the manifestations, most consistent finding is hypogonadism. So, meron kang in your musculoskeletal appearance, eunuchoid body habitus. So, abnormally long legs and meron kang osteoporosis. In your cardiovascular, you can have mitral valve prolapse. In your endocrine, you can have gynecomastia or malaki yung boobs ng male. You have type 2 diabetes mellitus and metabolic syndromes. In your CNS, you actually have average to below cognitive abilities, and the most deficient is in your verbal skills, in which you are not able to read and comprehend. In your immune naman, you have the risk for developing breast cancer because nga that extra X there, you would actually produce estrogen, and the production of estrogen actually is a risk factor for the development of breast cancer. Okay, so others, your mediastinal teratomas and extragonadal germ cell tumors. So this is a typical body of your Klinefelter syndrome. So pansinin nyo, mahaba yung arms and legs niya. So many of these features are often seen in untreated individuals with your Klinefelter syndrome. So while 'di ba sinabi ko kanina diyan na mababa yung IQ nila, even though mababa yung IQ nila, it's not to say na meron that they are mentally retarded, okay? Hindi sila mentally retarded. Sadyang mababa lang yung IQ nila. They have a decreased sense of reading and comprehension pero hindi sila retarded. Okay? So they can still live a normal life. And actually, they would actually live a normal life kapag they would undergo rehabilitation and proper psycho training, okay, mga ganun, and psychiatric counseling. Okay, so your Turner syndrome naman, it's the single most important cause of your primary amenorrhea. Single most important cause of your primary amenorrhea. The defect here lies on the complete or partial monosomy of your X chromosome. Ibig sabihin, walang kasama si X. So, possible na, di ba, XX tayo or XY. So, nawalan ka ng kasama, X ka lang. Okay, so wala kang Y, wala kang isang X. So, 45XO. So, the most most characteristics is female hypogonadism, so which are your ovarian streaks or accelerated loss of your oocytes. So, since yung isang X mo kasi, magtutulungan sila yan. Yan sila, XX, magtutulungan sila to produce a female individual. But since iisa lang yung X mo, parang hindi ganun ka-powerful, kumbaga yung isang X. So, hindi ka pwedeng magkaanak pag may ganito ka. Kasi nga, there will be accelerated loss of your oocytes. And then there will also be absence of your secondary sex characteristics and short stature. You also have the development of your cystic hygromas in the neck, and then regress, it will become web neck. You will become web neck, and then you would actually present with preductal coarctation of your aorta. Ibig sabihin yung aorta mo sisikip. So, you will expect now high blood pressure. And then most important cause of increased mortality with children in your Turner syndrome is your coarctation of your aorta and aortic dissection. So, renal, there is duplication of your collecting system. And if may defect dyan, pero kang magka-hydronephrosis, ibig sabihin, babalik ulit, magbabackflow yung urine mo. Therefore, parang malulunod yung kidneys. And horseshoe kidney. Di ba yung kidney natin, dalawang separate na ganyan. Pwede silang mag-join in the middle para mag-create ng letter U, which resembles now a horseshoe. Kaya meron kang horseshoe kidney. Okay, so ganito yung typical na appearance ng isang person with your Turner syndrome. So, titignan mo yung kidney niya shaped like a horseshoe. Okay? So you also have, since it's the X chromosomes or sex chromosomes ang affected dito, you can have your hermaprodism and your pseudohermaprodism. When you say it's true hermaprodism, presence of your ovary and testis. Okay? Yun naman talaga ang important. It's the presence of your ovaries and testes. Yun yung determination natin ng sex. It's not about the phallus or the penis or the labia. Okay? Kapag meron kang ovary, babae ka. Kapag meron kang testis, lalaki ka. But if you possess both, you are a hermaphrodite. Okay? Kapag pseudohermaprodism naman, the disagreement between phenotypic and gonadal sex. Ibig sabihin, kapag pseudohermaprodism, meron kang ovary, pero ang nakikita, penis. Meron kang penis, wala kang penis, meron ka labia, pero ang nasa loob mo, testis. So there's misalignment. Okay, so that's your pseudohermaprodism. So a male pseudohermaphrodite, genotypically male with female phenotype. Ibig sabihin, yun nga, meron kang XY ka, pero ang nakikita sa'yo is vagina. So, ibig sabihin nun, meron kang androgen insensitivity syndrome. Nagpo-produce ka nga ng androgen, pero resistant yung mga organs mo. Therefore, since resistant sila with that androgen, hindi nila kayang mag-develop. Instead, ang nade-develop mo, ang physically nakikita is vagina, instead na mag-produce ka ng penis or testis, okay? Or scrotum. Kasi nga, magka-analog yan. Ano yung analog ba ng penis? It's your clitoris. Therefore, kung hindi na-stimulate yung growth ng penis, magsistay siya as clitoris. The same thing with your labia majora. Your labia majora is the analog there is kapag lalaki ka, it's analogous to your scrotum. So kapag hindi na-stimulate ng growth ng scrotum, magsistay siya as labia majora. Okay, so physically, vagina ka, pero ang nasa loob mo, or the genes mo ay XY. Now, in your pseudohermaprodism na female naman, genotypically female with male genotype. Ibig sabihin naman nito, meron kang congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Ibig sabihin, masyado namang powerful yung mga pinoproduce mong hormones. There is actually virilization. Dito na magkakaroon ng malaking clitoris, which will now resemble a penis, ganon. So, pagkabata pa lang, very ambiguous na yung genitalia mo. Hindi mo talaga ma-call if female ba siya or a male, okay? So, yun hermaprodism natin, ang pseudo-hermaprodism. Okay, so another set of disorders involved in your genetics is your trinucleotide repeat disorders. Okay, in your trinucleotide repeat disorders, these are important genetic cause of human disease, especially neurodegenerative disorders. So one of which is your loss of function, which is your Fragile X, and gain of function, which is your Huntington. So one thing to take note in your trinucleotide repeat disorders is the anticipation. Ibig sabihin niyan, the disease worsens with each successive generation. For example, yung lolo mo, affected siya. Anak niya, affected, pero mas malala. And then, sa generation mo, affected ka, mas malala ulit yung sakit mo, okay? So, worsening each generation. So, there is proclivity to expand, the proclivity to expand depends on sex and transmitting parent. For example, in your female, you will have Fragile X, male naman Huntington disease. So in your Fragile X, it's the second most cause of your mental retardation, second only to your trisomy 21, okay? So the defect here is in your CGG, expansion in your FMR1 gene. Di ba nga, yung CGG natin is a codon, okay? Yung codon natin is the one, it's a trinucleotide repeat, okay? Ibig sabihin yan, cytosine, guanosine, guanosine. Diba? It will code for a certain amino acid. Pero ang nangyayari sa Fragile X is CGG, 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 CGG. Paulit-ulit na lang ang CGG. So nagkakaroon ka ng Fragile X. Ibig sabihin ng Fragile X, marupok yung X chromosome mo. Okay? So clinical manifestations is actually the intellectual disability. You will have long face, large mandible, averted ears. You can have macroarchidism. It's the most distinctive feature. Your neuropsychiatric, which you have aggressive behavior, anxiety, epilepsy, and autism. You will also have hyperextensible joints, high arch palate, and mitral valve prolapse. You also have your Huntington disease. Huntington disease naman, para din siyang Fragile X, pero ang CGG, si Fragile X, si Huntington is CAG. CAG, 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 CAG. Okay, so dementia and movement disorders or your chorioatetosis. So another set of your genetic disorders are your mitochondrial disorders. Mitochondria, you will only inherit this with your mothers. Okay? Kasi ang mitochondria ni father naiiwan sa neck ng sperm, kaya hindi siya makapasok doon sa ovary. Therefore, ang mitochondria mo, galing lahat yan sa mother. And kapag may mitochondrial disorder ka, sa nanay mo lang siya pwedeng mamana. Okay? So, dalawa lang yung pwede nating makitang mitochondrial disorder, your MELAS and your LON. MELAS is your mitochondrial myopathy, encephalopathy, lactic acidosis, and stroke. This is a set of diseases na group into MELAS. And your LON or your LHON or your Leber hereditary optic neuropathy. So this is the Punnett square for your mitochondrial disorders. And then there's also the disease of your genomic imprinting. Ibig sabihin ng imprinting, silencing of one copy of gene from either parent during spermatogenesis. So the imprinted gene yung tinatawag nating na silenced. Okay, ibig sabihin, for example, 'di ba, kailangan natin ng dalawang gene, 'di ba, para makapag-produce ka ng certain genotype and phenotype. Unfortunately, in genomic imprinting, nasa silence yung isa. So therefore, even though autosomal recessive or autosomal dominant sana silang dalawa, parang na-echepwera yung isang pagka-dominance niya. So nagma-manifest ngayon yung hindi na silence, kumbaga ganon, okay? So disease occurs once the functional or the non-imprinted gene is deleted. So dalawa lang yung genomic imprinting disorder natin, your Prader-Willi and your Angelman. Same lang yan sila. It will just depend kung ano yung na-delete na gene, okay? So kung ang na-delete ay yung sa tatay mo, you have now the Prader-Willi. Father, paternal, Father-Willi, kumbaga, or Prader-Willi. Kapag si Angelman naman, I like to think it as angel mother. Kasi si Angelman, sa mother naman yung na-delete or na-silence na gene, okay? So same lang sila ng clinical feature. Unfortunately, si Brother Willie, mataba ka, kasi kain ka ng kain, and then si Angelman naman, inappropriate laughter or the happy puppet syndrome. Okay? So this one, ito si Angelman, sobrang happy niya, kasi mga nanay natin dapat masaya lagi. And then si Father naman, di ba yung mga tatay natin, usually malalaki yan, malalaki yung chan, so just think of it as like that. Okay, so Brother Willie syndrome, ayan, may katabaan ka. Okay, so that's it for our genetic disorders in your pathology. So if you have other questions, you are free to reach me in our teams and I will answer all your queries sa teams na rin or possible din na i-raise ko na siya once we have our face-to-face. Okay? So that would be all and good day.